financial problems, elder law, criminal law, tax problems, business matters, divorce, personal injury, bankruptcy, your life, your reality. Life is complicated. There is the law and there is reality. Welcome to Law and Reality, sponsored by THAV GROSS. Now here's your host, Ken Gross.
Welcome to this segment of Law and Reality. Today's topic is goodbye 2024 and welcome 2025. Happy almost New Year, Brian Small.
Happy almost New Year, Ken and group. Everybody, it's going to be
Happy
a
New Year,
fantastic
Jeff Linden.
2025.
Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year, Jeffrey Kirshner.
Happy and healthy to everybody.
Happy New Year, Jim Samasco.
It's going to be a great year.
Okay, so
Or it's going to suck. One of the two.
It's going to be great.
another one of our year-end shows. But you know, I always, no matter what, insist on viewing the glass half full, not empty. So I'm going to say, I'm with Jim, it's going to be a good year. Let's talk about it, but I want to throw it out in the context, this is my mantra for the next year. Everything roots back to the 3-point retirement plan. You want to find yourself in a position when it's time to retire that you own your home free and clear, you have zero debt, and you have cash in the bank. You do that, you're not going to travel the world on a world cruise 365 days a year for the rest of your life, but you're going to live comfortable without anxiety, and you can vacation and you can enjoy your retirement. So, with that background, let's talk about New Year's resolutions. Who regularly makes them?
Not
Do
me.
you?
Nope. I make because I believe in making
It's a
resolutions.
yes or no question.
No, it's not.
Jeffrey Linden.
I believe in making resolutions on a daily basis on how I'm going to get through that day.
I have a resolution for you. I want you to learn the definition of a yes and no question.
Not a possibility.
No resolution for you. Jeffrey Kirshner, do you make Jeffrey Linden, do you make New Year's resolutions?
No, I don't.
Jeffrey Kirshner.
Somewhat. I think we all do. I think we all, the start of New Year, we're hitting the reset button like anything else. And so we're always saying, all right, what can I do better this year than I did the previous year? And then 2 days later, like,
Do
okay.
what? To Jim, yes or no?
Yes, and it's always the same that everyone else makes. I'm going to be healthier. I'm going to save more. I'm going to be, better to my wife.
See, my point wasn't, it's more like Brian.
I can't be better to my wife. I'm
Oh,
as
geez.
good as I can possibly be.
I don't make New Year's resolutions.
Let's call
I
Bonnie
just don't
right
make
now.
New Year's resolutions based on the calendar. It's like I assess things and I try and do things better in the
On an
future
ongoing
than I
basis.
did on an ongoing basis.
I kind of go with what Jeffrey Kirshner said is I find that at the New Year point, I do a assessment of the year gone by and what do I want to try and improve next year. I don't specifically write down I'm going to lose 8 pounds, I'm going to work out more, but I think through those things. Some of you may see the humor in this. I'm going to try and be calmer when I'm excited about something. I typically have that resolution
Good luck with
every
that.
singe year.
Good luck with that. How's that worked out in the past?
Yeah.
I think it's a little better.
It goes
but
to
I
my
don't know.
point. You don't need to wait to January.
One of my key resolutions is I'm going
He shouldn't
to,
wait till January.
This is my favorite resolution. Has not worked. I'm going to learn how to be happy golfing poorly,
There you go.
so that I can enjoy the game.
I can tell you this. I have accomplished that goal.
Some people have. I think that when I get a little older and a little more mature, that might happen.
You will never mature.
Probably not when it comes to that.
I have learned that.
I've learned the solution.
the-
Golf less makes me happy.
No, and I've learned the solution is that golfing with my good friends every week, it doesn't matter how I play as long as we're together because we're having a good time.
That's exactly where you want to be on golf. I completely agree with that. And I've always felt that way. Of the camaraderie of golf was always that important linchpin to it from my 30s on. But there was the time in my 30s and 40s where I would take the club off of the tee and I'd flip it into the woods. And then Jeffrey Sprague, my riding partner for all those years, he'd go running and rustling into the woods, and he'd come out holding the driver, and I'd say to him, why would you go and get the driver if I threw it away in the woods? I don't want it. And he'd look sad, and he'd put it in my bag, and then we'd get in the cart, and we'd drive, and he always drove. And then when we get to about the next tee, I'd say, thanks for getting the driver. Because I would have never gone back in the woods to get it.
And none of the TV viewers have any idea that Ken has a competitive spirit at all. Not one bit.
I didn't care how the other golfer did. That was golf is a self-competitive spirit.
I understand.
It's you against the world. But that's
It's also
you know,
self-abusive.
So I think that I do that process when we get to the year end because things slow down. You've got the break between Christmas and New Year's. I kind of it's cold outside, so I kind of do self-introspection during that period. What do we think for 2025? What do you and Pat think for the financial advice for 2025?
It could go either way. We don't have the crystal ball, but I do think if you consistently manage your money, consistently make investments, watch your expenditures, I think it's going to be a pretty good year. I'm optimistic.
Most of the stuff that I'm reading is optimistic about the bull market really continuing for at least the first half of the year. And it's been a good run at this point. I mean, there's so many things that we don't know first of all, it's a crystal ball. I mean, all the gurus that tell you everything, ultimately, half of the gurus are right, half the gurus are wrong. The ones that say things are going to be good are right if things are good, and they're wrong if things are bad, and the vice versa. So it's hard to know. So you've got to kind of manage your money based upon your circumstance.
Absolutely.
So the difference being, if you're 40 versus 70, how conservative do you need to be in your portfolio?
Well, no matter what, you have to be comfortable with what your investments are. You don't want to be losing sleep at night when the stock market, goes ups and downs. But you should always continually invest in the market, invest in your savings, so you can make the three-point plan.
So you don't leave it static.
Correct.
Take a break. We'll come back and talk more about 2025.
If you're retired and in a financial crisis, there is a way out.
It pains me when I see a retired couple exhaust their savings by paying credit card bills and for a home hopelessly underwater.
THAV GROSS specializes in helping retired people in financial crisis.
You just can't keep paying until you're broke. You need to address the problem now.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
We're THAV GROSS. Our firm will solve your problem.
If your loved one is struggling with age-related issues, let our family help your family. Call Samasco Law now. We're family-owned and growing. Meet Joe Frizzard and Kelsey Samasco, our newest superstars. We'll handle your issues with care, compassion, and dedication. At Samasco Law, we'll leave no stone unturned until your family is protected for the long term. We'll walk together. That's what families do. Samasco Law. Protect what matters.
Tax problems are major problems. Don't let the IRS levy your wages and seize your assets. There is a solution.
We're THAV GROSS. Our firm will solve your problem.
If you're behind on your taxes and owe money to the IRS, call THAV GROSS.
We've been solving tax problems for 32 years. We stop wage levies, resolve unfiled returns, and obtain the best possible settlements.
Call THAV GROSS today, 888-235-HELP. You can't work. You have to deal with pain and stress. Worse yet, our system for applying for disability benefits seeks to deny you the benefits you're entitled. Jeff Kirshner is an expert in obtaining disability and workers' compensation benefits for his clients. You need to call Jeff before you apply or after you're denied to get the benefits you deserve. 888-235-HELP. 888-235-HELP.
Carrying too much debt? Resolve your debt. Call THAV GROSS.
You don't need to be broke, and you don't need to hit rock bottom. If you have income and you're struggling with debt, dump it. Think about the next 10 or 20 years. If you do what the banks tell you, you'll have nothing to retire with. There is a solution.
Don't waste your future. Call THAV GROSS. We're experts at eliminating credit card debt. 888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP. Is the debt piling up? Struggling to get by?
It's all about preserving future income. Bankruptcy is one option. When it's right, it's the least costly, most effective way to save your home, eliminate a second mortgage, and wipe out credit card debt. But you need to address the problem now.
We help people with bankruptcy. Call the experts.
We're THAV GROSS. Our firm will solve your problem.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
All right, so it's 2025. We're all optimistic about a good year. We're feeling good. We're relaxed. It's winter. So now let's gamble. What do you think, Brian Small, about the scope or the direction of people with financial problems in 2025? Are they all going to go away, and is life going to be good for everybody?
Oh, sure. There's just a magic wand. It's just going to make it go away, just like that. Gone. There you go. We don't have to do the show anymore.
Well,
No.
we'll talk about other things.
No,
So it's-
no.
But you want to talk about estate planning?
Here, I'll tell you
can
what's
talk
going to
about
happen.
it.
We'll do
Estate
sports. We'll do
Do
music,
disability?
We'll do, yeah, sure.
All right.
Sports, taxes?
Do sports, taxes,
End
music.
of third quarter of 2024, credit card debt increased by $24 billion. Anticipated that when the results come out for end of fourth quarter, it will be close to $36 billion increase by the end of this year. I mean, end of 2024 when the stats come out. Then, historically speaking, what has occurred for the past 40 some odd years is, what on earth are you doing?
We'll keep going with your.
Well, historically speaking, what has what has occurred?
You keep going like this. So can I have one?
No.
Oh, okay.
What has occurred is that in the first quarter of every year, people pay down credit card debt.
That's good.
Okay. You know when it didn't happen?
No.
2022 and 2023. But it happened in all the prior years.
You mean the COVID years?
All prior years.
Even before COVID.
Like for the previous 40
So for 40 years, people have been paying down their credit card debt,
in the first quarter.
and it
paying
didn't
it.
happen in 22.
Nope, it stayed flat.
It didn't happen in 23.
It stayed flat.
So what about 24?
I think it's going up. I think it's not even going to stay flat.
Well,
I think
24 is
24
this is
we've already
25.
I mean, 24, it
Well, the
stayed
stats
flat.
is going for.
I'm talking about the years in the first quarter of
Didn't
25.
you mention to us that there's also an issue with, or didn't I hear something about people maxing out on their credit cards?
37%.
So if you're maxed out,
You can't pay it down.
it can't go up though.
But,
No.
oh,
Well,
no,
it
that's
actually
not
can.
true.
Interest
No,
Here's
with
what
interest,
happens.
it does keep
The
going
interest
up.
keeps
Still goes up.
accruing, and since you're maxed out, now you start getting late penalties and over the limit penalties, and you are screwed, period.
All right, so when we first started talking about this, I said things were feeling good in 2025, and then I kind of threw it over to you.
Sorry,
So-
I'm
so-
not trying to be a pessimist. I'm not being a pessimist.
so-
I'm being a realist.
I understand-
37% of America has maxed out their credit
I
cards.
understand what you're saying, but let me just ask a really much more germane, pointed question to the group.
I don't know. You took out pliers and were
Where,
trying to cut off my
where
fingers,
do we
so.
think the Tigers are going to end up in 2025?
Playoffs,
And-
definitely playoffs.
And who's going to win the Super Bowl?
The Lions.
It's the Lions and Tigers all the way.
if they make if they're in the playoffs to the point of winning the Super Bowl. We have to get through the playoffs. to do
Listen,
that.
they're favored for the first time in 57 years or something like that to win the championship, football
assuming
championship.
they make the playoffs. Anyway.
Assuming they stay healthy.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
we've talked about Tigers. We feel good about Tigers. We feel good about Lions. Now let's go back and talk about Brian's
We're
stuff.
kind of fair to Midland on
So,
the Red Wings, by the way.
Is
And
there
the
a way?
Pistons, too.
Is there
And
a-
the Pistons
is-
are doing better, but
yeah,
they're,
but we don't know how they're doing for the long haul. But they are
well,
showing some
you know,
grit.
basketball's over in
But
July, so
how do we turn this kind of doom and gloom scenario that you're identifying that credit card debt's not going to go down in the first quarter of 2025, if I'm hearing you correctly, right?
Right. It's going to go up.
Cards are maxing out.
Yep.
So how do we make this a good year for people that are in that type of a situation?
Stop hiding your head in the sand. Start actively doing something different. That different may be finding a solution to getting out of debt, whether it's a bankruptcy, budget management, debt resolution. Utilize the tools that are out there to help you as an individual and get yourself out of debt. Don't worry about the next door guy. Worry about you and your retirement. Worry about you and feeding your children.
I'm with you. And
Excellent.
in the context of our discussion about resolutions, all right, we're more mature age-wise than a lot of our listening audience.
What he means is he's older than all of us.
And you guys as well, from the standpoint that we have moved along a path where I don't think that there's anyone in imminent credit card trouble sitting at the table right now. So my resolution...
But you know, wait, that's a very interesting statement, because most people, when you're with your group of friends, everybody's acting the same. You know, you go out for dinner, you do this, you do that. You don't know what their situation is like because you only see what's outside. You don't see what's going on in their house.
280% totally agree with that statement. Like in the financial crisis,
there's only
I'd be
100%.
going out to dinner with people that I was saving their homes from foreclosure that nobody knew about because it was, you don't discuss those things.
Right.
But there were tremendous amount of problems. And you're right about credit
any
card
one
debt.
of us could get hurt any day of the week too, and be in a
Absolutely.
bad
I
situation.
can tell you 15 years ago, my resolutions would have included, I've got to figure out a way to get rid of this credit card debt. So I didn't say that when I was looking at my resolutions and I was worried about my golf game now, but 15 years ago, I was worried about my credit card debt. And so the point is, that should be one of your resolutions if you're in that scenario. And it doesn't matter whether your neighbors know about it or not. Sometimes your spouses don't even know about it. The correct analysis should be, if you're carrying credit card debt, you're wasting away your retirement on the interest that you're paying, and you need to address that problem. And that's what we're going to talk about in the next segment.
Tax problems are major problems. Don't let the IRS levy your wages and seize your assets. There is a solution.
We're THAV GROSS. Our firm will solve your problem.
If you're behind on your taxes and owe money to the IRS, call THAV GROSS.
We've been solving tax problems for 32 years. We stop wage levies, resolve unfiled returns, and obtain the best possible settlements.
Call THAV GROSS today, 888-235-HELP. You can't work. You have to deal with pain and stress. Worse yet, our system for applying for disability benefits seeks to deny you the benefits you're entitled. Jeff Kirschner is an expert in obtaining disability and workers' compensation benefits for his clients. You need to call Jeff before you apply or after you're denied to get the benefits you deserve. 888-235-HELP. 888-235-HELP. Is the debt piling up? Struggling to get by?
It's all about preserving future income. Bankruptcy is one option. When it's right, it's the least costly, most effective way to save your home, eliminate a second mortgage, and wipe out credit card debt. But you need to address the problem now.
We help people with bankruptcy. Call the experts.
We're THAV GROSS. Our firm will solve your problem.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
Time for announcements. I want to announce THAV GROSS has opened a new office downriver in the Horizon building on Eureka Road. So now we're in Flint, downriver, and also our home office in Bingham Farms. Remember, you can always come in for a free consultation. You can do it by Zoom conference, in the office, any way that works best for you. Just call 888-235-HELP or go to the website, thavgross.com, to sign up. Debt issues, tax issues, estate planning issues, business law issues, elder law issues with Pat or Kelsey, disability issues with Jeff Kirshner. Again, sign up at lawandreality.com or thavgross.com or just call 888-235-HELP. Also, if you go to the website, you'll see there's free reports. Resolving Tax Problems, The Real Solutions by Jeff Linden and myself. Bankruptcy, Is It Right for Me by Brian Small. How to Save Your Home from Foreclosure. Business Formations, Loans and Grants for Small Businesses in Detroit and Michigan. And The Retiree's Guide to Social Security by Pat Samasco. I want to thank our sponsors, THAV Gross, Samasco Law, Kirshner Law. Now back to the show.
Carrying too much debt? Resolve your debt. Call THAV Gross.
You don't need to be broke, and you don't need to hit rock bottom. If you have income and you're struggling with debt, dump it. Think about the next 10 or 20 years. If you do what the banks tell you, you'll have nothing to retire with. There is a solution.
Don't waste your future. Call THAV Gross. We're experts at eliminating credit card debt. 888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
The doctors ask if Dad's affairs are in order. Did Dad ever talk to you about what we should do in a situation like this?
Not a word.
What should we do?
We should have called Samasco.
Don't wait. All it takes is a quick call to Samasco Law or go online and fill out a request. We can get your needs and wishes set in stone so your family doesn't have to play a guessing game when the chips are down. Protect what matters. For power of attorney, call Samasco Law today.
If you're retired and in a financial crisis, there is a way out.
It pains me when I see a retired couple exhaust their savings by paying credit card bills and for a home hopelessly underwater.
THAV Gross specializes in helping retired people in financial crisis.
You just can't keep paying until you're broke. You need to address the problem now.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
We're THAV Gross. Our firm will solve your problem.
So, in a positive vein, the resolution for a lot of people should be, I've got to figure out a way of changing my finances so I get rid of the credit card debt I've been carrying and I'm not throwing my retirement away on interest payments.
Don't look at all of this as an obstacle. Look at what your opportunities are to improve your situation. That is your resolution.
Well, the problem with that is the show still has another 4 minutes to go.
But we got lots to
I guess
talk
we
about.
could talk about the Lions.
But no, but I guess people are up at night worrying about their debt, worrying about their finances, and a good thing to do for a New Year's resolution is, you know what? Cut this out, come in and talk about getting out. When people are disabled too, and it's a barrier in society to file, yet they have to come to grips and
Here's where
change
I
their
am.
life.
Now I'll go to you, Jeff. Rather than frame it in getting rid of the debt, commit to the 3-point retirement plan. I buy into the concept. I have to get to the point where I own the home free and clear, zero debt, cash in the bank, and I can comfortably retire. And if you commit to that, and then it's a question of how do I get there? Rather than focusing on the debt, commit to the goal that's positive rather than addressing the negative.
That's why I called it an opportunity, rather than an obstacle.
What were you going to say?
I was going to say where people fail is they look at too big a chunk at once. They think about all their debt. They think about the crushing anxiety.
Too much to accomplish.
It's too much to do, and they're overwhelmed. Pick something small that you can do tomorrow and do it.
Take one step at a time.
The next day, take the next step. Something else small that you can manage that's easy to do. Over time, you're going to build it, and you're going to feel immensely better by taking action instead of worrying about it.
So it's like maybe if step one is commit to making the appointment and come in and meet with Brian, and explore what your options are and what the process is. You don't have to commit to doing it, but commit to first exploring it, figuring out what the path is. The one thing that we know, whether it's a tax problem, whether it's a debt problem, the anxiety that lingers in between your ears when you're laying in bed trying to sleep is a far greater problem and costs you a lot more than and you're always annoyed at how simple the solution actually is. Tax problems. Everyone loses sleep over a tax problem because you got all these commercials saying, boom, 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 the IRS. They're solvable problems, and they're easily solved if you commit to them. It's the end of the year. I always want to run the list of people that we lost during the year. You know, big names. So we're running them out there. We're going to say goodbye to them. It's always, to me, it's a somber moment. It's just like the older I get, the more of those names on the list you recognize, and you say to yourself, oh my God, that guy was that old? Because if the guy is 20 years older than me,
and we know you're ancient,
he's old.
Be happy your name's not on the list.
You know, like John Amos, Donald Sutherland, Richard Lewis. Curb Your Enthusiasm, I was a big fan of. Remember Alan Rakins from L.A. Law? I can't remember. Doug? I think it was Doug Bernstein. Was that his name? I'm trying to remember what it was. He was the bald guy. Did you guys watch L.A. Law? Were you old enough?
I was old enough. I
Old enough,
stopped
didn't watch
watching it.
Yeah, but a lot of the viewers haven't.
Pete Rose, Chris Christopherson, John Ashton. Remember he was the straight cop in Beverly Hills Cop. Bob Newhart Show. Willie Mays, Jerry West, Bill Walton, and my favorite, all-time favorite, James Earl Jones.
the voice of the University of Michigan. He is.
And of CNN, and he could have done This is Law and Reality.
Yeah, and
We tried to get
he
him,
was
but-
great in those movies with Harrison Ford, Clear and Present Danger, and all the. He was the director of the CIA, I think,
Oh, yeah.
and he was always kind of like his mentor a little
And
bit.
don't forget, he's the original Darth Vader.
Yeah, I would
Field of Dreams.
100 times I would ask our PR guy and our advertising guy when we're doing voiceovers and commercials, well, can't you just get James Earl Jones to do our commercials for us? And they'd look at us and say, you're not in that league. Have a great week. Have a great year. We will be back next week and all year long with Law and Reality.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
New Year.
Have a great year.